everybody, and welcome to the Scanner Monkey TV show. We have Jay Bain, our alpha monkey, and we have our guest, Julie Barr, tonight.
Batt.
Batt.
It would not
okay,
be the first time.
Cut. Take two. let's start over. Stop the recording.
All right, take two.
Cordelia's tired.
Try not to
Julie
laugh
Batt.
tired.
Julie's up to bat.
Julie's up to bat. There we go.
I'm all ready for Halloween.
What are our announcements for tonight, Jay?
Well, of course, Ecom Chicago is next month. And that is, what are those days again?
It's October 16th and 17th. And I think if it's not sold out, it is like just almost, I mean, last I checked, there were like 10
on the verge.
spaces, and that was a day ago.
Yeah.
So if you want to go sign up, if you still can, I'll put the link in the chat. It's just ecomchicago.com.
That's with one M.
And I will be speaking there, and some other people. I don't know who else.
I'm sure Chris will be there, and all the usual suspects will be there as well. So yeah.
Jason T. Smith, John Lawson's going to be there, and some other people too,
and Cordelia will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll be hosting the DJ party, the Scanner Monkey DJ party with Banana Teenies.
With Banana Teenies and karaoke.
Nice. God, I'm so jealous. So jealous. I really wish I could go.
There might even be
too much other stuff going on.
There might be an epic FBA rap battle.
Oh, you better take some videos while you're there. Not just pictures. I want videos that you can share, you can upload.
I don't know. Didn't you ever hear the expression, what happens in Chicago stays in Chicago?
No, I've never heard that. Never heard that. Only heard that about Vegas.
Okay.
Okay, what else is going on next month? Our 2-year anniversary, meaning Scanner Monkey turns 2 years old. I think that's 14 years in monkey years, but it's 2 years old on October 27th. So mark it in your calendar, people, tribe members, non-tribe members. It's kind of a big deal. I think we defied the odds, and we're still around. So 2 years later, October 27th, we'll have a special show commemorating that historic event,
That's right.
the founding of Scanner Monkey back on October 27th, when it's just me, Chris Green, and Brian Vino, the Beaver. So that's, to me is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Pretty special day. And, of course, Q4 is only 6 days away. So our next show, which will be on October 1st, the first day of Q4, we will be discussing Q4 strategies. We'll have Robin Johnson joining us that evening, and a couple other special guests to talk about strategies for Q4. I'm pretty sure that show's going to run long, so just get ready. It's going to be a big one. So
and
very
Halloween
special.
is coming up, which is a good sales day for lots of us, or sales time.
Mm-hmm. Cordelia's got like 9 pallets of Halloween candy just ready to go.
I have a few pallets I have some Halloween candy.
Yeah.
That is on the way to the warehouse, hopefully as we speak.
Meltables, October 1st, coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can't wait for that. I have so many grocery items I sell this time of year. It's exciting.
And I'm just sending in a bunch of bras. I'm doing I don't know. I'm not syncing up with what everybody else is doing. So all shoes and bras for me lately. So
I haven't done bras yet, but clothes. So okay.
I was up to my chest in bras yesterday. Let me tell you.
Isn't it embarrassing to look through the bras?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all. I had a bra buddy that day. We both were kind of
like
going through the clearance racks.
If you're like, you could see your 21 or 22-year-old self, would that person be embarrassed, or were you always?
If my 21-year-old self saw my 40,
no, like when you were 21, would you have been able to just go through bras and buy a cart full of bras and not felt like dying? No, do we lose?
Oh,
Jay?
at 21, no. Once I hit 30, I just stopped caring what anybody thinks about me. So
yeah.
Am I frozen? Can you not hear me?
For a second,
yeah.
You're back.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I mean, 21. I actually cared about what people thought of me at 21. Now I don't give a crap. I just do what I do, and whether you're buying lube at CVS and Walgreens to sell on Amazon, or bras at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. Yeah, it's whatever. It's business. So, and it's fun because you can make up a different excuse for every person you see. Like, yeah, I'm a Mormon and I have several wives, and our anniversary. That is actually a John Grollo. I'm gonna credit John Grollo with that one. So John shared that with me the other day. So got to spend some time with him as well, and that's always a fun day. But
John shows some people the ropes, but he showed you the bras.
He showed some people the ropes. He showed me the straps.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So that's pretty much all I had for announcements. I'm going to jump off and let y'all talk. Can I do this? Would you mind if I by way of a bio, we always like to start with a quick little intro of our guest. We ask our guests usually to kind of send us a little bio, give us some bullet points on a little history, where you came from. I was before we do a show, I always like to go through and look at old posts from our guests, and I came across Julie's post on August 23rd, which was your 1-year anniversary, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I loved what you put on your post. Would you mind if I read this post as by way of intro?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
You didn't ask
I don't think there's nothing really embarrassing.
Nothing else.
But this to me was this is a very inspiring thing. And you're going to get into all about how you've developed this business basically part-time around homeschooling your kids and supporting your family and paying off debt. But I love this post, and I'm going to read this for everybody in the chat room. So here we go. So on August 23rd, you had your 1-year anniversary. Of course, you're thanking everybody for all their help. I'm going to get past that to this part where you said, when I filled out my business license application a year ago, I had to estimate my annual sales. I put $10,000 as my wild pie in the sky dream. I was just hoping to make a little money to help pay off our huge debt a little faster. But in a year's time, we've managed to pay down over $30,000 in debt, donated several $1,000s to our church and other causes, and a few thousand towards car repairs. Best of all, my family has finally found financial peace, knowing that our income is what we make it. My husband has lost his job a few times throughout our 18-year marriage, 3 of which have been in the last 10 years since I became a stay-at-home mom, and I always felt powerless. Not anymore. Matter of fact, my goal is for my husband to quit his job next year, and we can both go full-time FBA. So I just thought there is no better introduction than that story right there about you putting $10,000 as your pie in the sky. Now, I didn't say what your sales were, so I'll let you share that. What was your year at the end?
Oh, it was like over 180. I don't know what the graph said.
It was $186,000. You had $10,000 as your goal, and you did $186,000. So very impressive, and you definitely shot way past that goal. I'm assuming just a couple months in. So kudos to you, and thanks for coming on tonight. I'm going to end with that. I'm going to jump off, and I'm going to let the two of you talk. Okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. That was a really great intro, Jay. And I would just like to say I have always been impressed. When you ask questions in the group, they're always like, I don't know, they're pretty technical. Like you're clearly very thoughtful about how you run your business, and I've always been impressed by that. And so when I named this show, I said how to be efficient running your FBA business, and you laughed about it because clearly you don't feel efficient.
I don't.
But when you homeschool your kids, how many kids do you have?
I have 2, and really, I mean, the 4-year-old, she's not like technically schooling yet.
So you have a 4-year-old at home all the time.
So she's just dancing around us all the time.
Yes. You have you're home all the time. You have your kids home with you. And how old's your other one besides your 4-year-old?
He's 10 and a half.
He's 10. And you somehow manage to do all that and also get $186,000 in your first year. So to me, there's no way that you could do that if you didn't have some efficiency into your business, because you don't have time to not be efficient.
Yeah, I did try to think about, since you put that little marketing spin on there, I tried to,
And we don't have to talk about that, but I just was
efficient.
like, it's got to be efficient.
Well, I did come up with a few things that I guess are efficient that I just were out of necessity for me. And so maybe, yeah, they could help some other people. So yeah, let's see. When I first started, I was doing a lot of RA, and I would go out like on Saturdays, and my husband would watch the kids and stuff, and then I mostly ship out, like pack and ship on Sunday and Monday. But that got really difficult and was a lot of hours out of the house, especially into Q4. And so in January, I really kind of had to refocus because I just didn't feel like I could sustain that long term, caring for my family. And so I really had to make a decision as to.
I'm sorry, could you maybe move your mic just a little bit? People are saying that your sound is going in and out. So I don't know, maybe just a change in position might help just a little bit.
How's this?
Is that better? Okay, keep going. So you did a lot of RA, you had very intense weekends, and you just realized you couldn't sustain it. Your energy it wasn't going to hold up.
Right. So in January, I kind of refocused that and decided to go focus more on the wholesale. I had started out with wholesale, but then also bring in the OA a lot more. How's my sound now? Is it any better?
Do you have a fan on or something in your room?
I do. Let's see. It's not really big.
I don't know. We hear sort of an echoey thing. I don't know if that's it.
Maybe because I'm just
moving the mic a little closer to your mouth.
I should have tested this more.
Yeah, sometimes it just like this.
I can always try my Bluetooth headphones.
There you go. They don't help with the mic. So when you did wholesale, do you sell like you buy one thing and you sell one thing, or do you bundle stuff or multi-pack stuff?
I do both.
Okay.
So and that's probably one of my more efficient things that I do. I have a few wholesalers that I've kind of focused on their products and how I could really maximize those more by making multi-packs and bundles, and then also looking at other things that they carry. I have a lot of accounts, but I've kind of, favored the ones that are easier to work with and faster to work with multiple products versus, the ones that just carry one product. Mm-hmm. Just because, it's a time factor and stuff. When I get a big shipment in, I can have everything in at the same time, send it out rather than waiting for a million different things. Volume is oscillating louder and softer.
It sounds, I think whatever auto detect thing you have is picking up some ambient noise every now and again, but I don't know that we can do that much about it. So I think we're just going to have to.
Do you want me to try switching?
Can you just try turning off your fan maybe?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be too hot in there?
No, it's okay. Hang on.
Okay. Okay, welcome back.
Hi. I actually wonder if it's picking up the fan from my actual laptop. The fan is from my laptop, so.
I don't know. I think we're just going to have to deal with it for the moment, you guys. Sorry about that.
Anyways, so yeah, on the wholesalers, so I kind of prefer a few of mine, and I've just kind of had to leave some of the others for now, just focusing on, that whole principle of what is, sorry, I'm reading that.
Everything's fine. He's chatting.
Okay.
The 80-20 rule or whatever that is.
80-20. What makes you the 80%? So I focused on that, and then more of the OA because I can do that like after my kids go to bed and, you know, in random moments here and there rather than being out all day with the RA. And I find it's easier to find the same things over and over again. Most of my stuff is replens. So that's definitely helped. Let's see. Oh, and then getting ungated and like clothing and shoes. So,
did you do that yourself?
Yeah, I did. The clothing I fought with for a long time. That was my first one. And then I
didn't that take you like 8 weeks or something?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other ones came a lot easier once I knew what to do and stuff. And then Brandon Ortega helps me a little bit with tips too.
Cool. He's in the audience.
Yeah, he had started his, you know, Demystify, I think is what it's called, group that you know, I'm in there and a friend of his. And so, you know, he had given me some tips to kind of help streamline the rest of them so they came a lot faster. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I would have probably gone insane.
Yeah.
You definitely need wine and chocolate to get yourself ungated. So I think that helps because there's less competition and there's a lot more stuff to source in, you know, categories that not many people are in. So I just get a bigger bang for my buck because I find stuff faster, you know, when I'm doing
Now, do you mostly sell stuff that's already on Amazon, or are you creating listings?
I'm not afraid to create listings, you know, but I'm not a go-getter. I have added a lot of, you know, multi-packs and stuff of things that are selling really well. And they're, you know, singles or just like a few. And it makes sense that somebody might want to buy more. So I've added those, and learning the flat files really helped because I could add variations to the existing listings and piggyback them. So I didn't have to start all over getting a rank, trying to get my page to rank. There was, you know, right on that page is the 4-pack, 6-pack, 12-pack.
That's great.
So I'm grabbing sales from there. And those are like my existing wholesale items as well. Sometimes it's hard to see all of like the comments from everybody going out to the stores and finding all these amazing things. But I just had to make that decision right now. It just isn't the best use of my time, unfortunately.
I made a similar decision. It's very hard for me to take the time to go and do RA. So
there are certain stores that, you know, I'll make an exception for if they are, I know that they have a, like a big sale and I'll be able to spend a lot of money in one day, then I'll make an exception, but for the most part.
Now, somebody wants to know, Celeste wants to know if you have a dedicated space in your house for your, I guess for your inventory?
Yeah, it's called the 6 feet near my front door. I should have this room, you know, but it's been full and I share it with my husband, and he's a pack rat. As Jay says, he belongs in the hoarders. And so plus it's all like, you know, it's past the living room, down the hall, and I would have to take all the inventory there. And I try to turn it around really fast anyways. So I try not to let it pile near my front door very long before I turn it around. And I did bring on a pack and prep company to take over some of my stuff, so I didn't have it, you know, like the shoes. I hate the shoes for some reason.
Yeah.
Probably because they're bulky.
We have to inspect every pair of shoes too.
Yeah.
You know, and I did when I first started doing shoes, because I got even Amazon to Amazon flips. They send you the wrong pair of shoes in that box.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know that if you send that back out, you're the one who's going to get in trouble for it. You can be like, well, Amazon sent me the wrong pair.
Right. Or they look like they're all tried on. And the tissue is all crumpled and the little, you know, the fluffy tissue paper that's inside is like taken out on the side. And
I had one, actually, it was kind of funny. I had ordered these little girls' shoes, like sneakers to flip. and one of them was little boys' shoes, but they happen to be the same. They were blue and pink. You can put your boys in pink and your girls in blue. That's fine. But my little boy does not want to wear pink sneakers. So anyway, we got blue sneakers and they fit him perfectly. So we just ended up keeping those as his shoes. But that was you definitely have to inspect every single pair of shoes.
For sure.
So now you're doing most of your shoes online?
Yeah, I would say most of them are online. So, I do like Kohl's clearance a lot, and sometimes when I make it there, I'll find stuff, but mostly online.
Okay, so now are you, and I don't want to ask you your secrets, but what is your rank experience with shoes, and how do you kind of determine what's a good shoe to buy?
Oh, it really does vary for me. I look at past history and then also the number of sellers. So I do have some that I've gone down to like 50,000 if I'm like one of two sellers.
Okay.
But then
I'm here.
Yeah, no, I was just seeing like Jay's blank screen come up there.
Oh, okay.
And then, if there's a lot of variations and stuff, I try to stay higher. I'm still trying to kind of figure it out myself, I would say. And I do a lot better with children's shoes than I do with adult shoes just because I'm a mom and I know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So
somebody's sound is on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm calling my dog. I didn't know I was still muted.
Yes, we can hear you.
Well, for God's sakes, let me mute myself.
Let's see. Celeste is asking, are OA shoes always brand new and in box? Do they have a ton of stickers on them? Sometimes. So, yeah, I've sent in some shoes like just in the poly bag, if they're okay, but I try to get the box. Or you can get blank boxes and stick them in there. I always try to make sure they have tags at least on them so that people know that they were new.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
I don't do a lot of shoes, but like for casual shoes like Tevas or like kids sneakers, I'll polybag them if I have to. I haven't done any like high-end like women's high heels or anything. The few that I did, which did not sell well and they're still sitting in the warehouse, are they're in boxes. So okay, so now when you first started, like tell me a little bit about the progression, because you went sort of from 0 to 60 looking back, it looks like you did it very quickly, but it probably didn't feel that way when you're going through it. Like, how did you ramp up? Did you have money to start off with? Like, what was your path?
Well, before I even got my business license, I had already spotted my first wholesale product. And so I knew I needed to get my license in order to do that. And I was pretty confident that product would sell because it had a good rank on Amazon, and so I was pretty confident that, that would sell. So my first month, I probably took like maybe $600 or something as kind of like a loan to myself.
Okay.
And I made that all back in the first month and paid myself back, and then just started turning over, the profits pretty fast there. And then I added like variations and multi-packs of the wholesale item because I saw the potential in it. And I, was learning I was watching in, every Spreecast out there and past Spreecasts and staying up hours into the night, just eating up all the information that I could. I'm kind of one of those researcher type of personalities. I probably researched FBA for a good month before I started even. And in it, I was watching Dwayne Malick and, the whole fast turn mentality. So I was really focusing on that, and I think that helped. And then going into Q4, I think was a big benefit just because there's lots of holidays. So there's a lot of just ideas of things to source. And I think all the the stores get ready with lots of sales, so I think it's easier to find profitable items. So I think that really helped with the momentum, and I was just doubling, or more each month, turning everything over, and ended December, I think, doing like 27,000 or something.
That's great.
Just blew my mind.
Yeah.
But like the Toys R Us stuff, when you stack with the 10% off, Thursdays when you use their card, and then I think I had just signed up for the card, so you get another 15% off, things like that. There's those opportunities everywhere. So anybody starting right now, this is like the ideal time. Much easier, I think, than starting in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, my first, I started right before Q4 too, and it was great. It seemed like money was just falling from trees. And then February hit, January, and I wasn't at all prepared for that. Did you have a smooth transition into post Q4, or was it rocky for you?
I would say it was okay, just because I had all the wholesale stuff.
Yeah,
those are my things are evergreen. Mm-hmm. So that was always my basis, and that did just fine. And I had, since I had just finally ungated myself, I think in December, I, really hit January with looking at the clothes. I had joined Threads and Treads for like a month to kind of give myself a head start in figuring that all out, which was great. And so that replaced a lot of it, because I got away from toys. I don't carry very many toys now, whereas I was mostly toys back then and stuff. I will also say that even though I'm paying off credit card debt, I did use credit cards last fall, but it was always, I didn't charge more than what I was confident that I could pay off before, when the bill came. So I was really being conservative with like rank and making sure that would all be covered. And then anything that I felt like I was taking a risk, that it was just from reinvesting the profits kind of thing. So my business was totally, self-sustaining and, on its own by the end of the year, kind of problem. So
that's awesome. That's so quick. Like, it took me a long time to figure out. This year I finally have evergreen replenishables, and so and I'm also I don't even think I have any toys in my inventory right now, or maybe I have a few, but it's very few. But it wasn't like that at the beginning. That's all I did was toys and Christmas stuff, basically, when I first started. So we have a conversation in the chat going on about restricted shoe brands, in particular ASICs, and how do you find out if a brand is restricted? I think mostly you have to use the Amazon Seller app.
Yep, that helps. And then that list that Jay just posted, that's a good one to try to memorize so in the store.
Yeah.
Good luck. Evergreen, meaning
what does evergreen mean?
Yeah, there are things that people buy year-round, regardless of the season. Though I have to say, I did definitely sell, like they say, I sold more in Q4 of my evergreen stuff. And then like on Prime Day, I sold like 3 times the amount on Prime Day this summer of my evergreen things, because people are already there shopping. So they toss those in too. So
yeah, I think that, people, when they're shopping, they buy more, but the evergreen items they're not seasonal. They're not, it's not as dependent on, what holiday is coming up. I mean, if you sell bras, for example, we were just talking about earlier, I mean, you need those all year round. So, and your bra breaks or you need a new one, it doesn't matter if it's December or March or February or whatever. You need a new bra. You need new socks. You need new whatever it is. Holiday bras, Sandy says. Joke about that, but they have those. Like in the Victoria's Secret catalog, right? They have the Christmas bras or whatever. I don't know. Obviously, you can see I'm totally plugged into bra fashion from what I know about. I'm like, they have those somewhere. Or you could get that bra that was encrusted with diamonds. Yes, Cynthia, when the elastic fails or the underwire pokes out and stabs you, that's another fun one when you need to go buy bras. So anyway.
Okay, so moving on.
Moving on, evergreen items like that. So tell me a little bit about like how your day is structured, how your week, like how much time are you spending? What are you doing?
Well, let's see. Well, the great thing with homeschooling is it doesn't take as long to teach your kids as school takes to teach your kids. So I get that done pretty fast. And my son's still in elementary school. So I would say, well, I don't have anything to compare it to. I hear people get more independent as they get into high school. So even though the workload is harder, they're more independent. So I don't know, maybe it will be easy when he gets older too. So there's not as much that I need to sit down with him. So we kind of have a schedule of, we do certain subjects on certain days through the week. And then on Thursdays and Fridays, we have things with our homeschool groups and stuff. So during the day, I'm usually doing family stuff or, taking care of them. And then, I might be online here and there in between things. Checking my sales and things like that. Sending a random email or something. If I have a shipment come in from my wholesaler, we'll sometimes all sit and pack and prep together. I do pay my kids a little bit, though they're not very good. Well, my daughter's better. My son, oh my gosh. He better own his own business.
Don't you have a problem with your 4-year-old? Like, I can't open inventory around him without him wanting every single thing that he sees.
I trained her real fast in the beginning. So we have this phrase of, we'll add it to your birthday list, your Christmas list. And so she's constantly, I want that on my Christmas list, Mom. And I'm like, okay. And so, and they've gotten used to asking me the first question is this for us or for Amazon? So I guess it's still a little bit hard. I've had to hide things from my husband before. So I might have.
So how do you find your wholesale suppliers? How do you find your wholesale products?
Well, for me, I usually have gotten the idea by, I've often seen it on Amazon and then I go Googling for it. My current line of things that I carry most of the time, that my favorites that I've carried for a year are kind of in a niche area. And I think I've told, a lot of people have talked about this in general, finding your niche, that's often better. And, you look at, everybody has something that's particular to them, like an interest, like Jay likes wine. So he has wine wholesalers and, you've talked about, you are interested in plus size clothing. So you look into that, and for my family, we had something that was particular to us. That was like the first thing that I had spotted, remembering that I couldn't find it in the stores. I had to buy it on Amazon a few years ago, and I was frustrated because at the time there was no Prime option and I needed it right away. So that was the first thing I looked up, and there was only one FBA. And so through that product, it's led to other products in the same niche of stuff that you can't find in the store. So,
I think that's a really good way to figure out wholesalers. I found one of my replens that way too. It was actually an item I wanted to give somebody as a gift. And I went to go look for it on Amazon. It wasn't there. And I was like, this should be on Amazon. And then this was like before I was ever a seller. And then later when I became a seller, that was my first wholesale account. So I feel like, we all have things we're experts at, which we don't really think about. Whether
you need to kind of write them down.
Yeah, maybe you're a parent, or you have special needs children, or you have allergy children, or you have a hobby that you're really into, and the kind of stuff that people who like that want.
Right. So, exactly. So keep a journal of everything you touch throughout the day, or that
that's a good idea.
Because everybody has something. I mean, even long hair. We have long hair problems. There's certain kinds of brushes and certain kinds of shampoos and
hair bands.
Yes. My daughter has very thick, curly hair. I had to go search for a particular kind of brush for her on Amazon.
Yeah.
So that's
actually, here's a maybe, Bolo. You know Claire's hair place, the
Yeah.
Claire's, right?
Claire's Boutique. Uh-huh.
Hmm. So they have this one kind of hair band, which is the only one I could ever find that didn't give me a headache when I had long hair. And it was one of my things. I was trying to see if I can find one. Usually they're everywhere. I was gonna sell it on Amazon, but I would buy them to sell it, like to create a listing,
And
and
then you'd
then
use
I
it.
would put it off, and then I would like break because they always got lost, and I would use them up. But things like that, like you're saying, you know, if you have long hair, if you have curly hair, if you have whatever, there's some products that you've hunted for, and other people are probably hunting for them too.
Right. Exactly.
So now you wholesale in your niche. Do you have like one niche or more than one niche, or how have you kind of progressed?
Well, it's all related. So it's probably one main niche, but it does go across different categories. I also have an exclusive wholesale deal on a particular item that's not even related to my niche. And that was just because I had a friend. It was their company and I'd been working on them for like 8 months.
That's great.
Let me put it up on Amazon. So, and that one's doing very well.
I think that's an important point you made, which is that it took you a long time, even with your friend, to get their product on Amazon and then give you an exclusive. Now they know you and they trust you. I see a lot of posts about, well, how do you get exclusive relationships with wholesalers? And I really don't recommend that people like bring that up on the first date. Like, even if you know you're going to want to marry that guy, you don't ask him to marry you on the first date. You know, you kind of got to build the relationship a little bit. So you did that with your friends, and you don't have to necessarily be friends with a company to do that with them, but you definitely want to establish some trust and longevity, and they want to see that you're legit. And
yeah, I mean, and just you kind of keep your ear to the ground, you know, and listen, because there are 2 other companies that I've come across, like just through like relations and stuff, you know, hearing that a company has this product and I look it up and it's not on Amazon. So, you know, I'm planning on approaching them too, but I have kind of a common connection with them.
Right.
So I think having some sort of relationship can kind of help be a bridge to that. But, you know, it's all about, when it comes down to it, networking, really.
It is. It's about networking and connecting with people in a way that is mutually beneficial and just being real with people.
Yeah, just I mean, talk to people. You'll come across stuff.
But yeah, I think ears to the ground. I mean, we all, I go to trade shows, but even if you're not at trade shows, I mean, I was at a restaurant, a local popular restaurant, and they make their own mustard. And I was like, this mustard should be on Amazon. You know, I mean, like, it doesn't have to be, and that was definitely one that I did not follow up on because I just hasn't been a high priority. But it's all around you, know, whatever your regional foods are. There's so many different things where you can meet people. Skip McGrath talks about meeting people at local farmers markets that he can get exclusive relationships with. And oh, thank you, Cynthia. I don't know how fabulous a networker I am, but that's funny.
It's so colorful. It's like a buffet of
inventory opportunities.
You should write a book.
I have to say, I actually thought about getting this guy to come on our show. There's a guy who wrote a book. It's called Net Weaving. And it's a very good networking book. But he's an insurance salesman, and he basically says that when you talk to people, the last thing you talk about is how they can give you money. Like, you talk about how you can help them, and you really listen for that. Like, well, hey, would this connection help you? And I have to tell people sometimes when I meet them, like, because I'll be like, hey, if you want me, I met this guy at a show last week, and he's new, he's an entrepreneur, they have no money, they just launched their product on Amazon, and I said, if you'd like me to take a look at your listing, I would be happy to and give you some tips. And So I wrote to him, and the woman part of the team wrote back, well, how much is that going to cost? And I was like, I wasn't really going to charge you anything. I was just trying to be helpful from one entrepreneur to another. But people aren't like that. They're not helpful. So when you're like that, it actually really distinguishes you from the pack, you know? So anyway, that's enough about me, though. We're all here to hear about you. So, well, now, what about homeschooling materials? I know you're private about your niche, so I don't want to blow it, but homeschooling seems like it's a big market.
It is, and I've tried to reach out to them to get wholesale accounts, and I don't get responses from anybody. But I also don't pick up the phone and call them because my kids are here
Yeah.
during the day. But yeah, I would say look into that, especially like at the end of the school year over the summer. That's when the sales really get crazy. So now would be the time to establish that. And there's a lot of popular curriculums that are not on Amazon that should be. So yeah, that would be a good one.
That's a good bolo right there. Popular homeschool curriculums that are not on Amazon.
Yep.
I think you can also do, like, I've done a couple of just educationally oriented bundles, and they're not for homeschoolers, but that's always a keyword, and you try to work it in with the common core standards and all that other kind of keywording if it's appropriate.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
So now, are you on any deal lists? Do you subscribe to anything?
Yeah, I'm currently on Quincy Lynn's aided shoe list, which I think is full, but you can get on a waiting list. And I've really liked that. I made back, I probably paid for like 3 or 4 months worth of the list on my first week's
oh, wow.
buy. So, the sales from my first week's buy. So that is good. And it helps me kind of get to know more of like the adult shoes, because I was struggling a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fashionista, so I really kind of needed to know brands. So it's helped me find my own rabbit trails too.
Yeah.
As well as, the buys on there. So that's good.
So what about your OA products? How do you find those?
Well, those, let's see, through lists, the typical sites online. I really like Kohl's. Some people are like about it, but I do really well. If you have their store credit card, about once a month, they have a 30% off code plus $10 off, some sort of category plus free shipping. And you can reuse those codes over and over again. So I'll make like 50 orders,
oh, wow,
over and over again. And I'm basically getting like 50% off, because I feel like it's $10 off a $30 purchase. So you get that 30% off and then the $10 off. And then,
okay. There's a good homeschooling question for you. What percentage is it if you get 30% off plus $10 off?
The $10 comes off first, and then
that's right. There you go. So Kohl's is a good source for you, and you haven't had any issues with them like shutting you down or anything like that. So that's
no. Good. And maybe because they didn't put a very high limit on my credit card. So I can only max out to a certain amount, and then as they ship the stuff, I pay it off and I do it over again if the sale is still going.
Okay.
But I try to go wide and not deep with like buying 3 to 5 of each item.
Okay.
Unless it's something that I have sold in the past and I know goes, then I'll buy more of it. But usually because I'm doing multiple orders, I'm only buying like 3 things per order anyways, in order to be able to maximize all those coupons. So it's a little bit tedious, but I load everything into my on the Kohls.com website. They have, I think it's called buy list, maybe wish list. So I load all the things in there that I want with the quantities, and then I can quickly like add add cart, checkout, add cart, checkout, and then just multiple windows and
Okay.
go
So
through a
you
bunch.
use the same codes, the same $10 off. You just do lots and lots of orders.
Right, because they have, it's $10 off a $30 purchase usually.
Right. So
And
you
so
don't
you
want
want
to
to
go too
get
far
it
over that.
right. And then it's the free shipping is no minimum purchase. So if you can do that over and over again, that
Okay.
maximizes.
That's a
stuff
great
with
tip right
Ebates, 6% on Ebates. I mean, you're just definitely maximizing, which I think it's all going on right now.
Everybody's leaving and to go to Kohl's.com right now. So that's it. For those who are into credit cards, the Kohl's credit card sounds like it's worth it because you get all those tips and coupons and things like that.
Right. Yeah, you can't use, I don't think you can use the free shipping or the 30% if you don't have one of their cards, unfortunately.
Okay. Now, how do you keep up with that? Like with all your online orders, do you have a system to keep up with what you ordered and if you receive it and all that kind of stuff?
I should, but I don't. I just have it all in
Okay.
Gmail, and
So
I
it
kind of
just shows up and you're like, oh, I guess I ordered this.
I have a really good memory, so that probably helps, but I have like taken a look at some of like Jay's suggestions in his spreadsheet and thinking I should do something like that. But I just started doing my spreadsheet for like my my prep company, and that took a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, but I definitely should. I would say I'm not at the volume yet that I need that, but
I mean, I don't know. I do a fair bit of online arbitrage, and I keep everything in a spreadsheet. When I order it, it goes into a spreadsheet, and it goes in bold. And then when I receive it, it goes unbolded, and then when it gets sent in, I color code it. So
are you just typing in like your order number in your spreadsheet?
yeah, I'll
or are you
put
actually
in like
typing in everything?
Walmart.com and I put the order number, and because I also have to do that thing sometimes, where you have to place multiple orders. So I'll put in all the different order numbers, but it depends where you order from. Maybe Kohl's is really good, but Walmart screws up all the freaking time. So at least half the time, like they send me the wrong item or they send me the wrong quantity. And so a long time ago, I had to actually Jaya Patel, who was our guest a couple weeks ago, showed me her spreadsheet and I pretty much just copied it. So I use Google Docs, and now that I use a prep service, I just copy and paste out of my spreadsheet into their spreadsheet. So, but I do find that because I would get these boxes and I forgot what I ordered and I forgot what I paid for it and I forgot what I was supposed to charge for it. And so I don't have that great of a memory, and I just lose track of it. So
I also manage a lot through my Gmail inbox, like creating a folder. So as soon as I order it, the receipt goes right into that folder.
Okay.
So I at least have them all right there.
That's good. That's good. So what other, do you use like really obscure websites, or are you all just like straight up normal kind of regular stores?
I'm starting to get obscure because the Quincy Lynn list has opened my eyes. Another list, I joined like a couple other lists in the past, but stopped them for various reasons. They just weren't working for me, and that did definitely open my eyes to some other random weird sites and stuff. But I'm not like on every night going through websites and stuff. I do often work after my kids go to bed, but I'm signed up for email lists or the sales list, so I'll check the sales if I've gotten an email about it that day, and I have I'm aware of like certain sales when they come, and like when Kohl's starts their sale, go looking for that sort of thing. But it's not like I'm spending hours doing this. I probably only work like 8 to 10 hours a week,
That's fabulous. So. I bet you do a little more than that, but no.
No, well, if you count all the Facebook stuff, maybe.
Now, do you have any team members that help you, like virtual assistants or anyone else?
No, I just have my husband and kids that they'll do a little bit of packing and prepping for me and stuff when they come in, the shipments come in. So
Well, I have to say, you're very humble, but you've obviously been very strategic about what you do, because there's no way you could have gotten as far as you did in the first year without being strategic. So it's kind of hard when you're doing it without really thinking about it to tell other people how to do it. But could you tell us a little bit about how you strategize your shopping? Or how that's evolved maybe from when you first started, or
I've always been like a bargain shopper, so just knowing when the sale ads come out, like on Sundays, and checking those, knowing that Big Lots does their 20% off occasionally, slickdeals.net, they have the deal site and stuff. They have ongoing threads about with some of these stores, like Kohl's, and when the upcoming sales are, and preparing for those, being on the email list of my favorite stores to source at, and so I'm aware of when a sale comes, checking that. I would say, yeah, it's hard to say exactly. Right. It's just something.
Just do it. It comes. You send it in. It sells.
Right. Exactly. I'm trying to think. Okay, what other efficient things that I do? Oh, so I do a lot of multi-packs and bundles, and so I'm having to pack those. And I was getting really frustrated with all of the labels we have to put on there, with like this is sold as a set, and the suffocation label. I really like the zip top bags instead of the self-sealing bags, at least for my products. And you can't get them printed with the suffocation label. So I've done on my Dymo printer, this is all,
so you have it all on one label.
Yeah, so in Acrobat, I have added the whole do not separate on the top, the warning on the bottom, and this label size is called, I think, Diskette or something like that.
Diskette? Did you get those on clearance? Did you even find a Diskette label anymore?
They still make them. So they're Dymo, I forget the number.
Like from the medieval days.
That's what the size is called.
Right?
So I print out a whole bunch of those in advance, for my reprints and stuff. And then that way I'm only slapping one label on instead of 3. Yeah. And that's definitely helped. Let's see, what else do I do?
I used to, when I first started, I printed a whole bunch of my own labels too, and then I did finally buy some. Now I use the bought ones, but
yeah,
it is.
I had those, but it's like
you like having it all in one.
Well, because I'm, instead of slapping 3 things on,
yeah, that makes sense.
So it's faster. And then one of my other favorite inventions.
Matt is saying you should private label those labels.
I know, right? Okay, so when you're doing RA and you're in the clearance section and you have all those sticky labels. Okay, here's my heat gun called a hair dryer.
Yes.
It's multi-purpose. Okay, this is a hair dryer stand, and it just like goes in there. Can you see that? It like,
never knew such a thing existed.
Yeah, so this holds the, I put this on the table, and then I don't have to hold it while I'm trying to heat up the label, and then I have my Scotty peeler in the other hand. I warm up the label, move it over, take it off. So that's been efficient. And
that's a good tip right there, a hairdryer stand. I wonder if you can use that with the heat gun.
Well, right. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you could, because that's all kind of,
it's basically,
it squeezes and stuff. I think it was like maybe $15, and I was going to try to show you I have a glove that is a heat-resistant glove as well.
Looks like Michael Jackson. Smart. I burned the heck out of myself with that stupid-ass heat gun. Excuse me,
right.
That heat gun.
So, you have the glove on the one hand, and then you're peeling with the other hand. And it protects your hands, so that's efficient.
That's very efficient. I haven't heard anyone else say that. So you get a heat-resistant glove, you set it up, you leave it on, because I burn my hand almost every time I turn that heat gun on. So that's a great tip.
Right. And you just
We
have
should.
to
I
remember.
want to take a picture of you with like your. Can you get a picture with like your hand in the glove and the heat gun set up and the stand, the hair dryer stand? That's super cool.
I can make that happen.
Okay.
Just for you. Let's see. I'm looking at my list. What else I do? I do UPS Smart Pickup. I don't take boxes to the UPS store. That streamlines everything. And using prep company.
I just bought my heat gun. That was my first round of gifts from my husband. Was my first Christmas after I first started selling online. I got Santa brought me a heat gun and an impulse sealer and some shrink wrap bags.
This is what.
There you go. I use poly bags now all the time, but I do have the impulse sealer for the rare occasion when I want to shrink wrap something.
Yeah, that's when I got the Bluetooth headphones, was for Christmas.
Santa brought you that. So now you listen to your podcasts, and now see, I have trouble. It's hard for me when my kids are around to like listen to stuff. Like I just get interrupted all the time. That doesn't drive you crazy?
Yeah, but I'm used to being interrupted all the time anyways.
There you go.
I'm with them all the time. So, it's
just kind of adapt.
It happens. I'll bring I'll leave my laptop in the bedroom and then I'll go make dinner in the kitchen. I've got the headphones on. I can't see the chat, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So what are some of your favorite shows that you've learned the most from?
Oh, let's see. I really liked John Grillo's, both of his shows on Scanner Monkey. Also really liked Becky Cornwell's clothing show. Yeah, if going through the archives on the Scanner Monkey website would be awesome for any new members on Scanner Monkey.
It's
just a wealth of information on there. Her show really stood out.
I wasn't actually asking you to plug our shows, although I greatly appreciate it.
They're just
are there any other shows besides Scanner Monkey shows? I mean, awesome. Yeah. Yes. Listen to every Scanner Monkey show. Yes. Do that.
Which I do. Yes. I always liked Dwayne Malick's shows. I listened to Chris Green back in the day as older ones. I don't really listen to the Jason T. Smith ones because I don't do eBay. No offense, Chris or Jason. And let's see, Mommy Income, Christian,
Christian's great.
And Todd Lammy's Wholesale Intel. I was in his group a little bit, but he does, which is a great group if you're wanting to get into wholesale. His whole system is really awesome too, and he's very streamlined himself because he works full time, so he kind of has to be work very efficiently too. And that's part of why I kind of narrowed down my wholesalers. It was an idea I got from him. He likes to deal with one distributor or rep that represents multiple companies and makes it easier. So he has a free Spreecast that's every other week or something.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Todd
Lamy, Lami. Love Andy Slammin stuff.
Slamazon.
Yes, I definitely want to be in private label, have my first product by the end of the year here. I'm trying to work hard to fit that in among everything else.
Yeah.
I'm probably leaving out stuff. Oh, as far as podcasts, my new favorite one is E-commerce Momentum. Stephen Peterson, am I saying that right?
Oh yeah, Stephen.
Yeah. So, and I had just heard of
Monkey too.
Yeah, I just heard about it when Jay posted that he was on there, and that was a great interview. And then I started listening to him, and his most recent interview, or maybe the interview last week, had Brian Young on it. I recommend anybody to listen to that.
He's the book guy, right?
Yeah, but he does other stuff too, and outsourcing his retail, his RA and stuff, and he's very efficient. That would be an awesome interview for anybody to listen to. I was very inspired, and that's a smart guy. So those are probably my favorite shows.
Cool. So you're still working at night. You're making a very good income. I think you make an income that many people who, that's an amount. Somebody wrote to me today that I had said that when I first started, my hope was to make an extra $1,000 a month, and I've exceeded that by a lot. But for some people, when they're first starting out, I mean, it seemed like you said, like a pipe dream. But you really got from that pipe dream stage to like getting accelerated very quickly. So it's really great. Do we have any more questions from the audience for Miss Julie? Julie, do you have any parting? We're getting near 10 o'clock here. We're right at 10 on Eastern time anyway.
Let's see, I would say recommendations maybe for people. One of my big regrets from a year ago, if I had to do it over again, I wish I would have gone to a conference sooner than I did. I had really wanted to go to the first Scan Power Baltimore conference, and I had thought of putting up the money for that in November, but I had only been selling like 2 months.
Right.
But I really think that would have jump-started me even more, and I was really kicking myself, like, each thing that went by that I didn't. And I just came back from CES, and that was just really amazing with just the amount of people that I talked to, and just people I just had no clue about. And then people, famous FBA people that were just so giving and open and, willing to chat and stuff, that it was just really awesome that they were, would share their time. And so I would really encourage anybody to, just go for it and go to one of those conferences or go on the Scanner Monkey cruise or something. Even if you're just starting out, I think the whole networking really does make a difference. And even if you're an introvert like me, you just gotta do it. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. It was, but it was worth it. I forced myself, and it was definitely all worth it, but it was definitely hard. So I would recommend that. And
that's good advice. I also really have gotten a lot out of the conferences I've attended, and we're going to be in Chicago in a couple weeks.
Yes, go sign up for that if you're new.
If there's any spots left, there's not many, so sign up like tonight. And we have Scanner Monkeys do get 25% off. The discount's in the group if you want to go see it. I can't announce it on the show, but and then I think that might be it for this year. Like Q4 conferences are pretty much over.
Right.
And then starting next year, we have our cruise in January, which is just networking. Like, we're actually not going to have like a program. We're just
and that's the point. I mean, CES was great for the programming, but really it like they say, it's the networking. So I think Scanner Monkey Cruise would be just as valuable as any of the others.
Yeah, and then the Sea Commerce Cruise is in February, and then SCOE and what do you call it in Vegas? The big trade show, ASD. So there's a lot of different opportunities. One advice that Bob Willie gave, actually, we did a show about conferences, is he said, when you're starting, try to pick some that are sort of like in your geographical area to cut down on costs. So you're not, so luckily we have, they're all over the place. So hopefully you can find one that's at least a cheap plane ride or a car trip away, and start there, and then, go on from there. Or you could just dive into the cruise, which isn't really going to be close to anybody except Barrington, because we're going to go to Jamaica. So, and Cynthia brings up a good point in the chat, which is that there's a lot of local meetup groups. And so if you can't make it to a conference, you can start a group. Like, it's not a big deal. I started one here in Atlanta with Jaya. And, we just meet like once a month or so at a little restaurant, and we just talk. And it's great. It's great to meet other sellers, and it's great to see how differently people do things. And some of the people from the group have gone shopping together, and it's fun. So if there is not a group in your area, start one.
For sure.
If you're in Scanner Monkey, we do have a list of groups, and if you start one, you're welcome to add it to the list. We definitely encourage people to get together. Okay, is there anything else? Any more questions from the Peanut Gallery? Next week, we have our Q4 strategy show. Do you have any Q4 strategy that you're working on, Julie?
I'm just being ready for Toys R Us, because it seems like they do those coupons. We've done those like a couple years in a row. The Target coupons. Getting ready to know the Black Friday ads in advance. If you look like on Select Deals, they have all those ads posted way in advance, and writing down my shopping list and maybe hiring some shoppers this year.
Okay, cool. That's exciting. All right, so next week is our Q4 strategy show with Robin Johnson, Dwayne Malik, John Grollo, and Jay Bain. And thank you so much. You did a great job, Julie. We really appreciate your coming on. It was an honor to meet you. And one of these days, maybe we'll be at the same physical place, and that would be awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is a production of Scanner Monkey, which is a paid membership group. It is $19.99 a month and is well worth it. Please ask other members if you want to know more about it. It's a great way to meet other people, and we have lots of other benefits too. So scannermonkey.com, or really the best thing to do is ask some of the other names in the group what they've gotten out of it. So,
best
all right.
money spent.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you guys next week.